'Cause I'm just a teenage dirtbag, baby. Today, we're talking about Loser, baby. No, not necessarily the old 2000s movie with Jason Biggs, Mena Suvari, and everybody else that we all know and love from back then. Today, we're talking about the Detroit Red Wings and their captain, Dylan Larkin. Because at the time of recording this audio, and I feel like I don't need to make this disclaimer, but I'll make it anyway. At the time of recording this audio, which is Tuesday night, July 7th, Dylan Larkin remains a Red Wing. And that shouldn't be all too surprising because the guy has a very limited selection of teams that he supposedly wants to go to, despite asking for a trade and despite not wanting to be a Red Wing anymore. Helene St. James gave us an update that I thought was quite interesting. And the response from Red Wings fans definitely lies in a very peculiar direction. Helene St. James tweeted this out yesterday morning. In 2+ months since requesting a trade from the Detroit Red Wings, Dylan Larkin has not expanded his list. He has a no-trade clause in parentheses from Florida, Minnesota, and Vegas. No offers from those teams have intrigued the Red Wings. They want value now players for a 1C with a very favorable contract. And as we spoke about yesterday, Elliot Friedman had the scoop on his latest 32 Thoughts podcast, going over what Friege's report said. It talked about the Leo Carlsson offer sheet situation and illustrated that because Leo Carlsson is going to be making $18 million a year, because the market is changing, because guys all over the league are getting raise upon raise upon raise, Dylan Larkin at $8.7 million till the end of 2030 is really, really good. Just think about some of the other contracts that have been given out. Forget the wingers, Dorofeyev, Kempe, Tuck, all these guys in the 8-digit range, $10, $11, $12 million a year. Think about centers. You have Leo Carlsson at 18. Fantilli and Bedard are probably going to get something $15 to $20 million each. You have Nico Hischier, who's making 11.7. You have Elias Pettersson, 11.6. Dylan Larkin at 8.7 is genuinely good. Say what you want about the decline in play after the Olympics and whatnot. This is a guy who has a certain amount of value as established by the current market of NHL players and centers. And Detroit has all the leverage to say, yeah, sorry, Florida, Vegas, Minnesota, you guys are not giving us the stuff that we want. We're just going to hold on to our guy. He's signed till 2030. But for Helene St. James to say this, that it's been 2 months since Dylan Larkin has requested a trade and he has yet to expand that trade list, it is a big disappointment. MSU Chief of Propaganda Odell Bredham Jr. said he is the single biggest loser this town has ever seen, and there is some stiff competition. Really? Not the pathetic teams that were built around him for over a decade? Larkin was never expected to be a game-changing center. You never got him any help. That's on the Red Wings. Some other replies go out there and talk about how, hey, I've been thinking about this for a while. There is a near-perfect scenario. Okay, there's a 3-team trade. That's a big one. Look at this, eh? Minnesota receives Jack Hughes, Luke Hughes, Dylan Larkin. Oh, boy. That's for another video, eh? Casaroo said, it sounds like he doesn't want to leave as bad as everyone is saying then. He has to know that those teams cannot offer the Red Wings a legit deal, so he's trying to spark a fire either under ownership or with Stevie Y to improve the roster. But I think it bit him in the behind. Woodward Sports Network, obviously they do stuff in the Michigan area, they went out there and said, hey, Dylan Larkin is a 2C. Maybe the Wings should stop worrying about what Larkin wants and aggressively find a deal they like, then present it to him. The teams on his no-trade list don't have the assets the Red Wings want, and he isn't showing up to camp, so it would be in his best interest to help the Wings get a deal done. Now, just hold on a little bit there, Mr. Kostas. We don't know if Dylan Larkin is going to ditch the Red Wings at training camp. That's a conversation for a few months down the line. And then you have this. Selfish quitter, quits on teams, craps on fans, Pinocchio nose included. That's bold. Oh boy. You know, if I was a crazy YouTuber, I might actually use this in the thumbnail of the video. But, I'm gonna have to think about it for a little bit. I'm not sure. You even had Nyquist go out there and say this. Nyquist, shout out to him, one of the OG hockey YouTubers. We came up on the scene around the same time. He said, Larkin's genuinely such a loser, man. If you want out so bad, expand your gosh darn list. Beggars can't be choosers. You have 5 years left in your deal. Actually agreed. He doesn't even require that many more teams. 5 is a big upgrade from 3. You then had fans on the R Detroit Red Wings subreddit also responding to the Helene St. James report. Well, Larkin, get ready and suit up for camp. You can play your way to a deal if you want. I don't know how he expected this to play out. That would be highly incompetent from his agent if they didn't talk about whether or not there's a match with these teams. I think Larkin expected Yzerman to cave and trade him for Minnesota's pile of scraps. The rumors of the alleged pieces coming from Minnesota being Stramel, Yurov, and a first are just a laughably bad return. No GM in his right mind would accept that and think he's keeping his job after getting fleeced like that. I am no fan of Yzerman's work as a GM, but I know he is smart enough to not even consider that offer. Oh, and the Minnesota Wild subreddit is so bad, saying that Yzerman needs to accept it because they won't get anything better, and Larkin can't play for the Red Wings anymore. Yeah, so, fans on other teams are misinformed, it seems. Another reply says, hey, the Panthers and the Wild, they have about $1 million in cap space, and Vegas is over the cap. Larkin ain't going to any of those 3 teams. They can free up some cap space by trading us Boldy. Haha, yeah, that's true. That's the biggest reason why Larkin deserves to be hated by fans now. He isn't stupid, so he probably expected the Red Wings to take on a mix of picks and bad contracts to send him off to a playoff team. A genuine D-bag. He won't ever captain another team in the NHL. Maybe he gets an A. He tried to tank our team on the way out. Crap bag captain. Clearly doesn't even give a crap about Detroit, and who knows if he ever did. Man, all of this just feels like a copy and paste of what Vancouver Canucks fans were saying about Quinn Hughes when that guy departed the team. I don't want to illustrate what has already been beaten into the ground, but something about these Americans on that specific incarnation of the American national team, man. Something about them. Brady Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk, Quinn Hughes, Connor Hellebuck, Dylan Larkin, Cole Caulfield. He would never. Lane Hudson, he would never. And if they do that at some point, then hey, you're free to come back to this video however many years down the line and call me out for my bullcrap. But either way, let me know your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about this report from Helene St. James that Dylan Larkin, it's been 2 months since he asked out, but he has not expanded his trade list. He knows that those teams cannot afford him, or at least he should. I have no reason to believe why he wouldn't, but he's still keeping his word. He's saying, yeah, no, these teams. I just want these teams. Yzerman, send me over there. And Yzerman's like, no, we can't. They don't have enough stuff. What, you're gonna demand us to trade you for nothing? Nah, we'll just keep you. You can let me know your thoughts in the comments section whether or not Dylan Larkin is as big of a loser as some Red Wings fans are saying he is. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.